Hey, hey people. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Spirit Journey. And how are we today? Yes, today is Wednesday, April 15th, 2025, and the time is 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Yes, I'm just here lying down, and what a beautiful evening it is. I'm just looking outside the window. It is gorgeous to view. Yes, I have some, I want to share with you some thoughts. I have been doing some thinking, and yeah, I was watching this movie. I've seen the movie some years back. It's the movie Advantage. And I remember when I saw it that I thought it was a very odd movie. It was very deep. It's a futuristic movie. Uh, there was a lot of technology and computers, and I think also AI was in the picture. And it's really telling that I decided to watch the movie again. Again, I only saw the movie once. I had bought it over iTunes back in the day, and I only saw that one time. Many movies that I've purchased, I've watched over and over again. But this one, it was kind of spooky, a little different. But someone said to me, "Watch that movie." Okay, and I think the movie is really telling about what's happening now in many of our lives. The advantage. Okay, based on movies about again, some futuristic. There's a lot of technology, and it focused on this woman and her child, and the people in her circle. And I think the movie was really designed with women in mind, and how women are geared to think about themselves, and that is about appearance. This was an Asian woman, of East Asian ancestry, and she had a daughter, and she had a relationship with this other Asian man, but they weren't together. And you learn towards the end of the movie what happened in that relationship. Um, the relationship with this particular woman, she worked for a company, a biotechnology company. These were people who basically very advanced in their thinking, very intellectual, high educated, and she had a she had a male boss, and I think twice in the movie they showed that this woman had like uh, other female friends, and they would meet for lunch. It looked very high end. It was like a very, very dressy uh, tea time hours, and they were just talking. I remember listening to the conversation, and it just seemed, I don't know, it made me uncomfortable. They just spoke like they weren't speaking from their heart. They were just kind of speaking very mechanical and very surfacey. Everything had to do with opportunities, and they didn't speak as just human beings. Everything was about advantages, how to be ahead of the game. I mean, these things are important, but it just seemed like nothing else about anything else, but like, it was just so sterile. And it just seemed very surfacey and fake. They were dressed very nicely, and it's like that this supposed to be it, having this lifestyle. And it just was very reminiscent of my past, of what is life all about, and the the race, the race about getting yours. Everything's about getting yours. It's a race. Did you know that the word career means a race? I remember one day, I think it was in 94, 93, 94, I looked up the word. Yeah, I was at a crossroad there at that time, and I was contemplating, hey, do I go back to school and finish my college education? And I wanted to know, you know, everybody said, I want a career. I want a career, right? And then I said, hey, I don't know what that word career really means. I know how you feel about the word, but what does the dictionary say what it is? And I remember reading that it's a chase towards something. Yeah. And in this movie Advantage that came out some years ago, I don't know what year it came out, but what is the advantage? Everything really focused about, yeah, it seemed to focus on the women. And she did have a male boss, but it seemed like everybody in that woman in that movie were women. And that it seemed like the men had they had two men, I think, in the movie. One, I think, served as a boss and one a former lover. But the woman lived with her little daughter, about 12 years old, and the plane going. So the woman in the movie, she looked about maybe in her 40s, and the daughter might have been 12, and both very, very intelligent. But the mom learns from her boss that the company that they work for, like a biotech company, that they decided not to use her in this campaign because she's too old looking. And they wanted to go with someone younger and vibrant. And this really hurt her feelings. And she also gets message that her daughter didn't get accepted in this program, this particular school, supposed I guess be the top school, and but did get accepted in this other school, which is considered a good school, but they wanted the first choice. And the dilemma that this mother is faced is she loves her daughter, excuse me, she loves her daughter, but the she's going to be unemployed, and the little girl is to go to this school, but it's going to cost a lot of money, and she's panicking. And she, in this new society that they live in, there was I guess, a homeless woman, and there was a woman of color, and she was, I guess, living on the street, living in the bushes or something like that. And she had seen her before, and she feels bad about her situation because women, it seemed like women's value were really based on surface needs. And so when they find that they don't need you anymore, you get removed. And so she doesn't, and so she has to fear that vulnerability, that what's going to happen with the daughter, because the daughter was to go to this school. But again, she did get accepted to a program, but she didn't get the first choice. And the mother was to lose a job. So, but she needs a job so she can pay for the daughter's education. And she even discussed it with the daughter, said, hey, what if such and such happens, and you know, and trying to get an idea where how the daughter will feel. And so she decides, she goes to her boss and begs him to look, I don't want anything to happen to my daughter. Please give me a chance. I know the ins and outs of the company. I know you want to go with someone younger. Well, our program is about making people younger, physically younger, and that you can take her, like that the company was going to do this experiment, and the experiment will allow people to choose a younger avatar, a younger body, so they can just have their dream. And so the woman is saying, hey, let, let me be your first guinea pig, see how it works. And I know the company in and out. Let me be the spokesperson. And so they did. And it has a lot of bad side effects. You have to have these injections in your stomach, other things. You get incapacitated with pain and everything. And your memory and your mobility will be hindered. But this supposed to be this new technology, and it's really targeting women. But yes, men can take it too. But the things seem to focus on women's youthfulness, and they will put your mind in this avatar, and also turned out that you won't get your memory, you know. And so the woman is at a dilemma, the mom, and I guess she talked to her daughter, what if scenarios, and the mom decides she's going to do this for her daughter. So yeah. Also in the movie that the girl gets to choose what avatar she wants, and she showed the daughter. And so yeah, she looks like a nice lady. This picture. But it turns out, after the procedure was done, her memory and pain that she was suffering, and the daughter didn't like the lady after a while. Said, "You're not my real mom. You're not my." And it just made things difficult. Uh, so I thought that was really something. Here you can have parents. You have parents that have every intention. They want to invest so much time and money for their kids. I remember one day, I didn't mean to chuckle, but I was chuckling in my heart about, that, I was in a computer place. It was very high-end store, high-end area. And you had this parent, and I think they were from the South. And she's there, and she wants to get her kid the latest everything to start her college. And I kind of like chuckled in my heart. I said, wow, look at that. That mom wants the best for their child and wants to give that child every opportunity to be on top. And this mother in the movie was willing to do what it took to allow her daughter to be on top, be accepted. Because the reality in that movie for these characters that women didn't have the same opportunities. It seemed to focus on the women and not men. Women were at a more vulnerable state. Uh, Everything depended on having a job and to be on top. And because if you people were losing jobs, and she didn't want to be that person. She didn't want to be that victim, and finding work was hard. So, but it's interesting. It didn't focus on that being men. So I started thinking about it. I was thinking about that lady in the computer store that I saw many years ago, and I saw the hope that the mother, yeah, and this mother looked very high end. Uh, I don't know why I think that she was from Texas and how she dressed. She definitely was an out of towner, not from New York City, and it just it put a smile on my face because I I think hope is a beautiful thing to have for your child, and that a lot of these parents are willing to sacrifice what it takes to get their child, give their child an advantage over other prospects into programs, and more powerful people like that. But I started thinking, okay, like it's a race. Like the word career means a race towards something. And I'm thinking like a race like remember the story of the rabbit and the tortoise and the hare, a rabbit. And so you may have that movie is supposed to symbolize that you have people who go on a race slash career, and you're on the fast path. But not everybody who's on a fast path makes it. And in the end of that story was that the tortoise wins the race. And it's a good thing to remind yourself because I remember how I felt distracted. I remember being around people who are on a fast path, and I felt like, wow, I felt like left behind. But we're not all on the same race. We put ourselves in situations and initiate ourselves in races that we shouldn't be in. Not everybody's meant to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I remember growing up, those are the two things that people want to be, a doctor or a lawyer. Why? Money. The prospects of money in a nutshell, right? Isn't that how it goes? People want to be that. I mean, why would someone want to be a doctor or a lawyer? All the headaches that comes with those fields, being around sick people if you're a doctor, and if you're a lawyer, being around criminals, or you know, I mean, I know law is not just criminal law, but there's all types of law. But when you think about it, why would someone really get into those two fields? It's really stressful. But either way, you have that. And again, uh, it's what you like. It's no wrong answer of what you want to do. Like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do, and more power to you. But I think back on myself that, so like in the movie Adventures, in the end, what really happens? You have a person who decides to go through a procedure, and they just move forward. What really is the outcome, and then you can um, real life here. I've known people. They might have started around the same time I did. They had their rough times, and then things kind of smooth out. But in the end, like growing up, I was taught, believed that I had to get in a race, a big race, to be someone, but wasn't really sure what race to go into. And I've met many people. I know if people went into Ivy League schools, And after their education, where did they wind up? So it's a race that makes people think they got to do this, got to do that. It doesn't mean that you'll get that payoff that you want, that you think you want. It may not be there for you. And the rules could change on you. You're going into a school program, and then you find out a month before a semester before you were to finish, that the criteria of graduating or the requirements for getting a job changes. And maybe you're not eligible for that extra education. And you're going to say, wow, your opportunity just went down the drain. That is the reality. But I remember meeting people. I remember people from high school. There were some brilliant people, some brilliant young ladies there, and they got into the top schools. One of them that I know of, she's on different boards of, we call it, board member, and she's just on different boards, representing different companies. And wow, isn't that something? She actually started out as a pre-med major, and then she decided, I think after one semester, she wasn't going to do it, which was a big shock to me. Okay. But you look, now this was a person who was highly scholastic. Yeah, she had a very high average, extremely focused. And she got her MBA from the Ivy League school. And I had the opportunity to talk to her, I think it was 2011. And I told her what I was doing in my life, and she was telling me what she did. And it's really something. So here you have people who might be in a race, even get Ivy League school. A lot of people want to go to these Ivy League schools because it's the belief that once you get in these schools, you get connected. The plane. Yeah, it's the promise or the assumption that you get in this, you're guaranteed a good job. And some government agencies, you have to be a graduate from an Ivy League school. That is a reality. So, so she didn't go into medicine, but she got her MBA, and she is on different, what do you call it, board members of various organizations. And I said, wow. And then look at this now. Now you have people who go through a race. I remember one time having a good SAT scores were essential. All these requirements, and some people, I remember someone saying in a publication that if she didn't get into this particular Ivy League school, that she will cancel her life. I kid you not. She's saying this publicly if she doesn't get into this Ivy League school. So, wow, that's put a lot of pressure on you. But not everybody's going to, be selected for a particular race/career. Not everybody's going to be a doctor or a lawyer. They have all different occupations. And it's where you really set yourself, your focus, what you want to major in, what you want to do. And sometimes it takes time to develop what that real interest is. There's no guarantee. What I learned that life doesn't have any guarantees. You could have a child and they're enrolled in school, the little ones, and you have all the hope for them. And you get referrals to different college, different, call it grooming, what do you call it? The term, like a prep school. You have kids, people in prep school. So you're really hoping to be elected, to be a part of this elite, and well, you you get into the program, but what could happen? Fast forward. They say you had your heart's desires fulfilled. You get into the program and you you're connected to the internet and you're part of a system. But if you compare with other people, now what is my real question is here? You go through a whole life to become something. And in the end, what are you left with? What are you left with? There are people here, they may not have been born with a gold spoon in their mouth. They work on the field. They don't have their own farm, but they work on somebody's farm, and they have their local clothes on, um, and they may not have the opportunity because of money. Um, so where they gonna go? These people, these women, they may not be eligible for certain programs. Uh, let's say you do get in a program, college program or master's program. Again, you, I mean, some of the people in the program are being recruited to be a particular demographic. And once that demographic is filled, they're going to put someone else in. So you're faced with that, and you don't know who you're going to get. You don't know who's going to, um, when you get accepted in this program, you don't know how you're going to respond to this new position. So you have all these hopes, but what really are you getting different? And people are having these hopes and putting all their investments in a program that is not definitive, it's not perfect, and it can change. You could be a part of, initially selected, and then they can change, and they could, you know, what was once there for you, they could change the curriculum, they could change the things on the computer, and you're no longer selected. So you wonder what happened. Well, you have different programs, and it seems like people are being set up. People are taught about what is good, what is bad, and even like uh, you have organizations that people might belong to, and you might be on someone else's radar, so to speak, but it can be taken away, or things can change, and so where do you end up at the end? All this preparation that you've been doing for years, and someone can take your credentials away. I met someone, they they had what do you call it? Um, they had gotten tested for COVID or something like that, and test positive, and so you're not a candidate. And if you have something like that, so what happens? What could happen? Your whole life, you're preparing your children for prep school. Uh, you buy things locally to save money, and then you get it accepted. Some of you to be selected in an organization, and then they might even pay for your education in some cases. But either way, all these things that come in your mind about opportunity and a must in order to get your credentials. Like you're a kid. I remember growing up here. Oh, you should. You have to get your elementary school because it's going to prepare you for the next level. Let's say high school. And then what happens after high school? It's the same type of thing. You have the same type of people. They might have you. What do you call it? They 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 have done what do you call it? Composting of various pets and things like that. Um, but not everybody could afford it. But some of them, they are, um, they include you. They're hoping that you sign up with their company or agency, and they always have uh, a red light. Like an extra light for the dogs, so that you can see what's going on, and or your investments. Um, it could be taken away from you, and we just had leave you. Um, why is this? Why is it that you might have started off one way, and then you um, are denied this? What do you call it? This retiree land. You have now a lot of restrictions. But initially, everybody seemed cool with your your influence on the world as a foreigner. People are eager to get accepted in these programs, but these procedures could make men sterile. I'm going to repeat that again. Your ladies who join different, um, agencies, and in the end, um, you realize that that you had other expectations put on you. You're required to read certain books in history, and you have to look into um, your relationships, etc. You also have to pay your bill. um, but yeah, there are a lot of variables that come into play. And some of these women, they live alone. They can become easy targets. Easy targets in the sense that, hey, you had your mind put in an avatar, and you lose the race, and in your wake state, okay, you had a dream about that's a system, a school system, getting your master's. They had interviewed, and they select who they want. But now you have to reopen this list for you to be accepted in the program. And is it all worth it, people? Is it all worth it to, you have your medical, and use this facility, this bull market, and they have a flashlight. Um, you can see different things that are happening. You can have a theft. borrowing things that aren't yours. Anything could happen. And also about your weight. The weight is getting up there with some of the people, and they may not be qualified for water use because of their weight. They have a high body mass index. So it's like, wow. Yeah, so yeah, some people are reliant on these connections and are is being involved with these connections to get into nearby colleges. Is it worth it? There are people, I remember hearing once this young girl saying if she doesn't get into this particular Ivy League school, she will commit suicide. I think that's kind of overboard. You know, you don't have to do that. Your body is valuable. But yeah, when I got there today with a neighbor of mine, um, they don't like dry food. They don't like, they like spicy food. Well, they like food with flavor, savory taste. And some people think here that life is about this pot, but it was alarming because they the the same opportunities or um, it's tricky. It's very tricky. How you going to manage these things? And again, a lot of it was about um, money. This game was very realistic, and some people did make and surpass the game. Many don't. And you're thinking that, oh well, hey, I looked like so and so on the TV. Well, that so and so also has other characteristics, and I didn't see that. But yeah, the human brain can see things. The human brain is a sacred thing, and I don't like people avoiding. So yeah, you start to ask yourself, you have a beginning point and an end point, but in the end, like me, this person I know people that they retired. What difference do they have? There's really no difference between you and them. You need work boots. They have it and they're not using it. So the race is really going around in circles. I know they have something like in New York, something, um, but where's it going to lead them? Where's it going to lead to this new, redesigning the requirements? Some of it is not clear, and they're not looking for uh, people with, they, they're about this program. They're about the consciousness of the human mind. And if they can transfer it successfully from the human body, the donor, and bring the consciousness in another carrot, this tour. And so I think basically what happened at the end, this particular um, person who they knew about um, the heritage of the place. And so they didn't have to use sugar cane to improve their harvest. There are a lot of missing people. And we're being tricked, women are being tricked in particular, to be ladies of the evening, to be dependent on other men. And so why even have that? Who wants that type of lifestyle? Choose a lifestyle that benefits you. Choose that life. Yeah, this is Spirit Journey. And yes, I'm in a new room in the house. I like this room. and you may have no control over what happens. And then you have someone who's prepped for it for all their lives, and then you have another person who may not have gone back to school and may not their degrees. So you have all these people who are entering in a school program, and they were initially a part of this program, and then they became not. This was awful. And again, in the end, if these interlopers were here, why wasn't the people that drove me to this place? Why is the last name obscured? Why is this? Yeah, your life is important. It's always important. And it's not the just having one type of food, having variety. So interesting, this person I know, they had an accident, was it 1 or 2 days ago? And there's some remarkable people out there, and some old enough to not be part of the program that I was in. You know, there's other stages that are even more flamboyant. So again, it's just something different. I want to be. I want to make sure that are you doing things with the right motive? Is your thoughts still haunting you because you wanted to start out as a doctor? I mean, I know a lot of people who want to study medicine. Is it for you? Is it for you? And that's something that I have to answer. What is our heart's desired? And is this something that is promoted in the military, but not back then? Yeah, sporting certain outfits. If it's green, you won't get it. So it's life repeating itself. And you have to make that decision. You have to be your own boss, so to speak. You have to be your own therapist. You have to make the decision for yourself. And what's really important to you? Do you want to be a clone? Or do you have a consciousness? What's really driving you? Have something that's true that you can evaluate, and the dentures that might be required eventually. These are all very important subjects. You have people who are fighting. Yeah, this is also reminding me of in the movie. It took place in China, and a young graduate, and the next thing you know, that young 15-year-old is making popcorn. Unreal. But that's what it was like. No furniture, no furnishings of, brother, is it all worth it? Yeah, a person who went through college and another person that didn't go, but in the end, you both could be retirees. You have someone who got in a good job, uh, stopped going to college, and was sponsored by the company, and you're there for many, many years, and then what do you leave with? But initially you weren't allowed in these programs. So where does it? So what's really important? Again, that incident is a reminder that yes, you can have people who live right, right across the street or wherever, really close, but are they utilize. I guess like you can use sock. They try to make people look like other people. Is it really beneficial? Why do women seem to need that? So I thank you again. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired, people. But yeah, where are you going? Race, race, race. Everybody in it is racing, but they're not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. So it's really timely that um, it's not utilized, and they know what's happening politically as a result of this licensing. These I don't know. Life is what it is, and there's no guarantee to life. Some of us are made with a gold spoon, and some of us are made with a wooden spoon in the mouth. But in the end, you know, when you retire is when you retire, and another person retires shortly after. So we have one that played the game of politics and the one who did, and who really is doing better. You have people who are doing considerably better, not having a college degree, and they build up their credentials and everything, yes, through school and everything. But where's the true meaning of what is good, what is bad, what's a nice lifetime lifestyle, and if your coins missing, how do you get them back? So those are my thoughts. And again, whatever were your heart's desires, um, is it all real? These things that we're going through, it seems very real, but is it real? Is it really real? So these are my thoughts, and I apologize, but I feel a little tired, and I might have been forgetting some of the things and points I was trying to say. Yeah, in a nutshell, you may be in Ivy League school and you uh, investigated, but you're not a candidate for, you know, what it's designed for. You don't qualify, and they don't want you. So, so much for a career. So much for a career. Yeah, take a look at that movie, Advantage. It's pretty interesting. It's definitely science fiction, and you and your partner may like it. You may get other understandings, other insights based on the movie. Yeah, towards the end, they had gotten, um, yeah, someone had lost work, and it's like, boy, where they gonna go from here? You never know. And it has nothing to do with the system, according to this live stream, but it's things that are dormant, so to speak. Yeah, I don't want to be dormant. Thank you again. Yeah, I wonder what you guys think about these people who are you can learn how to fly. Yeah, people go want to become a teacher because you could learn how to fly or something like that. I thought it was very unique. Yeah, it's all the same, it seems. Some go to college, some go at home, you know, and they like certain aspects. Um, but in the end, you wind up at the same spot. I don't want to be a left behind life. Yes, spirituality is very important. And so if something is not really working for you, why even push yourself towards that and learn how to back away and take these new opportunities and place it in your advantage for a change. I thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Peace, love, joy, and power are on to you. Thank you again. Until next time. Bye bye.